Hello, welcome to today's home seller workshop. And I hope you are doing well and staying healthy in this current situation. This is your host, Deloar, Realtor with Exit Family Realty. Today, in this program, you are watching live through Facebook and YouTube. And this program is broadcasting direct from our West Babylon, New York studio. And dear audience, we are very excited to have our guest today. And our guest is Marty Kelly, licensed mortgage loan originator from United Northern Mortgage Bankers Limited. Welcome, Marty, to our show.
Good evening, Deloar. Thanks for having me here tonight. Looking forward to it.
You're always welcome. And dear audience, today we'll try to reveal some answers, questions, some questions we have from the sellers. And recently we're having some questions. Is it the right time to put in the market the house for selling? Also, we have some buyers also question we have, is the right time to get the loan or not? So that's why we have our expert, Marty Kelly, today. And the first question for Marty today. So Marty, you have a lot of experiences. How many years you have experience in this field?
Showing my age, Deloar. I've just passed 30 years in the
Okay,
industry.
we're having a sound issue. Can you?
No, I said I'm in the industry about 30 years right now. So I've seen some ups and downs over the times. I've seen the financial crisis from 10 years ago and seeing what we're
Check your
doing.
audio. Your sound is not coming. Check your audio.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Sorry, dear audience, technical problem.
Why don't you go and I'll just fix this real quick.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking. Yes, I think. Can you talk?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's good.
All right, better
Okay.
there if I get a little bit closer.
Yeah, no problem.
No, I say I've been in the industry 30 years and seen a lot of different times. So when I started in 1990, coming out of the 80s crisis, I've seen 2008, straight up to now, what we're dealing with the pandemic. So I've seen a lot over the days. And again, each time it's different. And this is another unique time period for us.
Yes, so definitely, as a loan originator, recently I see you are very busy, correct?
Oh yeah, we've been in the mortgage industry's been very busy. Again with what everybody's been talking about is interest rates hitting historic lows. This is the lowest it's ever been. We're now below 3% with most of our rates in our programs. So as much as we're helping a lot of past clients by doing refinances or redoing their mortgages to save them money, we're also refinancing people to save them the mortgage insurance. Uh, we're still seeing a lot of activity with buyers and sellers. Again, proving no matter what the times are, there's always going to be somebody buying a house. And right now, you're seeing some of the most powerful, strongest buyers in the history of lending. They're coming in with great offers, full offers on houses, and houses are selling despite the pandemic.
Yeah, so you are saying you are getting a lot of refinance, right? Refinance customer.
Yeah, of course. Over the years, in the last 4 or 5 years, most of the rates have hovered right around the mid fours, between four and a quarter, 4.75. And having the ability to drop down to 3% saves a lot of people money monthly by just saving the lower payment. But more importantly, a lot of people in the last 4 or 5 years who put down less than 20% now have the ability to refinance because of all the equity they gained, and they drop off that mortgage insurance premium that they've been paying over that time. So not only are they getting the reward of a lower interest rate, they're also dropping the mortgage rate, which is in most cases doubling their monthly savings. Instead of just being $200, it's turning into $450 savings per month because they're able to get rid of the mortgage insurance because the market has appreciated so much in the last 4 years.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
double savings for our clients. So we're
Yeah.
helping a lot of people with the refinances.
I just remember one question. One of my, the buyers, my client, we sold the house to him, and he's asking like, what is the situation with the forbearance? Can you tell me about the forbearance?
The forbearance has been a tough time. As much as the government officials came out and asked people or told people if you're in trouble, you can do a forbearance, or basically call your lender and ask for a timeout, ask for a little bit of a break not to make your payments. The problem with this is that they didn't check with the banking industry to see how they'll handle it. They didn't check with the car dealers and see how they're going to handle the missed payments. One of the biggest problems that the banks face is that taxes were still due. The bank still had to pay the taxes on your mortgage. It created a tremendous problem in the secondary market. Thankfully, as time has gone on, people have shown their strength and their will, and they've been making their payments despite the forbearance. So the idea that this was going to cripple the industry, cripple the lending and credit industry, it hasn't happened thus far. I think a lot of people were able to stay at work. Essential workers continued to work. Sadly, during the epidemic, you're seeing some industries that are just absolutely booming. And then sadly, you have other service like restaurant, bus drivers, things like that. Those industries are suffering. So one of the mistakes that the officials made was that they didn't ask people to show hardship, to prove that they're out of work and that they couldn't make their payment. So a lot of people who were or did have the ability to make their payments were just not making their payments. That became the problem of it. It was a great idea to help people who needed help, but unfortunately, people who didn't need the help chose to use the forbearance route. And that was what was a concern to the secondary market and to the mortgage market overall. So the forbearances, thankfully, a lot of people haven't needed it. So they've been making their payments. So there isn't a credit crisis. We're going to discuss with a couple ideas again that this was not a credit crisis. This was not a financial disaster. This was a virus. This was a health crisis. And again, I think we've done a great job, especially here in the metropolitan area, everybody following what our governor and the legislators also recommended with the social distancing, and we've flattened the curve and we're able to get back. And in fact, today is a great day. We're at level 2 today. So it's great to hear that we're coming back as strong as we thought and believe we can.
Yeah, that's actually, you are saying this is not the economic pandemic. This is like, we have a COVID situation and is a crisis, like, health crisis. So actually, just taking your point, Marty. So as a realtor, we are in the market, you are in the, the mortgage side. What we see right now, actually, we are very busy right now. So what is happening? Just for an example, I just put one house in the Riverhead like 3 weeks before, and I got a lot of buyers call from that house. Like I was amazed. I didn't even could not show the house because we have some restriction, limitation, could not show the house personally in person, but we took some videos. So what is happening? A lot of interest, we see that. I think part of the interest is, as you were saying, that historically buyers is getting that low interest in the mortgage, correct?
Yeah, I think you're looking at, obviously the interest rates help the buyers because they're able to borrow the money less expensively. But I think what's happening from the seller's perspective is that there is a lack of housing. There aren't that many houses on the market. Most of this goes back to your economics 101 class where it's supply and demand. There are no houses available, but there are people who are demanding the product or looking for a place to live. We've talked so many times about the rents on Long Island, specifically, how high the rents are going. Right now, in a number of cases, to rent a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment costs more than owning a 2 or 3 bedroom house. So it's enticing to people to get into home ownership. So you're seeing the demand is there. People want to buy. Most cases, the spring is our busiest time because people want to sell. They want to get settled before the children return to school in September. Due to the pandemic, no one was allowed outside. In most
That's
cases,
right. Yeah.
you couldn't show houses. You weren't allowed into houses. All these people who wanted to go out and buy in the spring market, that market is kind of pushed back and is still red hot. As you said, the house out in Riverhead, you had many people, many offers on that house.
Yeah.
Just only in 3 weeks, multiple offers. In most cases, we're getting transactions where the buyers are actually bidding more than the list price in order to win the house. It's listed for 380, they're offering 385 because
Yeah.
there is so much competition for the houses because there aren't enough houses on the market to satisfy the quest for home ownership.
Yeah, it's still the we see the still the inventory is very low. So I think considering this situation, what we see over here that some of the sellers actually is they're worried about the situation. They're watching the situation, so they are thinking, is it the right time to put the house in the market? So, what do you think, Marty?
For me, my opinion is right now, I know rates are low. Rates have never been this low. How long they're going to stay here
We
with the
don't know.
payments of, we don't know. So I
Mhm.
cannot tell you that in September rates will be below 3%. I can tell you June 10th they're below 3%. So you can't decide that hopefully in the future rates will go down and prices will continue to go up. We don't know that. Again, there's no better time than the present. It's when they ask you when's the best time to plant a tree, it's today is the best
Yeah,
time. And I think that's the same goes for putting your house in the market. You're seeing all-time highs for prices. You're seeing all-time lows for interest rates. You don't normally see those two in a combination together. But again, to buy a house right now for a family and their monthly payment, this is the lowest it's ever been for the highest mortgage ever.
that's right. Yeah, actually, so Marty was saying, whatever Marty was saying, that is absolutely true. We don't know the market, what will happen. We cannot predict the market tomorrow because of this situation. But what we see right now is definitely this is the right time to put on the market. The reason is because the rate is low, and also from the uh, price point of view, I can say that we don't know what's going to happen in the housing market because we are always having the peak of the housing market last 1 year. We don't know when it's going to go down. Right now we have a situation, but still the house price is still high. Still there is overbidding going on, and that is a tremendous, a positive effect is happening right now. So whoever is the seller is thinking to hold it. I think there is a risk involved on that. You might be losing some equity, right, Marty?
The point is, you never know.
Yeah,
Right now, the old saying, we know what we know. Right
yeah,
now, rates are low, the lowest ever. Historically, the lowest they've ever been to borrow money is happening right now. Most of that is caused by the pandemic, is caused by the uncertainty of the marketplace. Um, Again, when you look at when the pandemic began in the United States in February, the economy was very strong. There was no issues with the economy. This was
yeah,
not a financial crisis where banks were closing and banks weren't lending. The banks want to lend the money. With the pandemic, the government stepped in and helped create stability in the marketplace, help create the stock market to come back, help create lower rates by the government stepping in and purchasing mortgages. All these things, they've lowered the Fed funds rate down to zero to help create stability so there isn't a crash. And there hasn't been one. Most loan programs we have right now are allowing as little as 3% down. There are programs for people to buy with low down payment, with low interest rates, and that's creating the demand. And again, probably the biggest issue that we're having is that there is no inventory.
yeah,
If you're
exactly.
in a house right now, you have 5 people fighting over your house. That's a fact. I don't know if
Exactly.
it's going to be that way in October, and it may be, but chances are we don't. No one can sit right in front of you right now and say that's going to happen. So you go with what you have right now.
Yes, Marty, I'm going to come back to you again. So, dear audience, these are the very valid questions. And is it the right time to put on the market? Or already you know that, yes, a lot of indication that we should put, sellers should put the house in the market. If they are willing to sell, definitely need to, this is the right time to put in the market. And we can say that the summer is a new spring this year. So spring, all the flow is coming to the market. A lot of people are holding the house, but should not take any chances. So right now we have a tremendous some attractive houses came in the market in the Lindenhurst. I'm just gonna show you one or two over here right now, and just gonna show you once again my screen. One house came in the market that is 438 Lido Parkway, 438 Lido Parkway, Lindenhurst, and this house is updated, moving condition, expanded cape is must see, featuring many updates including all new eating kitchen, formal living room with gas fireplace, formal dining room, 3 to 4 bedroom, brand new full bath, and many more. All nestled on a landscaped 60 by 100 lot with multi-level rear decking and a new vinyl fencing located in desirable Venetian Shores neighborhood of Lindenhurst. Let's see the video tour and we can see that. So it's a beautiful cape. You can see Marty, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's beautiful cape, and we are doing the video tours, and this is how we're showing to the our audience and our customers, buyers, and we get a tremendous, the response from the market. So now, Marty, let's come back to the discussion again. So we're discussing about the is it the right time to put in the market or not. So now, what you are thinking the prediction in the market, the report is coming recently, and considering the unemployment, I think the last week unemployment rate came in right low.
Yeah, I think the market is coming back strong. I said not only for the real estate market, but you're seeing also the financial market. Last
Yeah.
week was a bit of a surprise to everyone, is the fact that unemployment was actually lower than they expected. I think
Hmm.
that just shows again the American spirit and how people want to go back to work. Again, this is not a financial crisis. It's not a time when people were getting laid off, where people were losing their jobs. This was due to the virus, that people had to stay home and not go to work. So a lot of economists are predicting that we'll rebound from this time out in the world very quickly, because people want to work. Stores want to open. That's unusual, because that's not what normally happens with that's not what happens during a financial crisis. Over a financial crisis, things take time, take years to recover. Right now, if you're looking at just going into phase two, how many of us, between Facebook, between text messages, how many store owners have texted people to please come out and support them in their community? That
Yeah.
that that's different. That shows that people want to work. That shows that people are willing to make their payments. Again, it comes shining through what people still want to buy houses. It's a big difference from 2008, when
Yeah.
banks shut down and banks wouldn't lend money and people were losing their jobs. It's a big difference from when Superstorm Sandy came through and no
Yeah.
one wanted to go near the South Shore of Long Island because they were afraid of floods, of things like that. Those are different scenarios or different situations where something caused this tragic event. This is the virus that has caused people to be unable to work, even though they want to. They've been unable to work. That's a big difference, and I think economists recognize that. And I think it surprised everybody that they anticipated unemployment to be much higher than it reported, that and showing that people are going back to work. So people want to work. So it's all
So
things are
yeah,
intertwined.
Marty, actually, is surprisingly, a lot of jobs are just temporarily laid off. It was a furlough and temporary. So that's the good news. That's the reason, one of the reason, a lot of job came back, and unemployment rate quickly is reduced to the acceptable limit. And we do not imagine that is going to cover recovering so fast.
Well, again, the unemployment numbers are still staggering, in
Yeah.
terms of the country. But again, I think economists expected it to get worse, and it isn't getting as bad as they expected. So that's a good thing, that they're disappointing the economists, which is unusual.
Yeah.
So again, I just think it keeps going back to the fact that people want to work, people want to make money. Right now, especially when we deal with the essential workers, the firemen, the police officers, the nurses, the teachers, all of which are getting paid throughout this pandemic. Most of them are making even more money because there's such a demand in overtime. They have become extremely powerful buyers. They have the money, they have the lowest interest rates, and they have the demand that they want to buy a house to get their children settled. So again, going back to the previous conversation, the demand is there. There is no inventory for these people to buy, which is why we're getting bidding wars on a great deal of the houses that are out there in the market.
Now, Marty, this is very interesting actually conversation. So let's say as a buyer, as a seller point of view, let's say if I want to put my house in the market, like I should be worried about few things. Am I getting the buyers or not? Now, what pricing strategy we need to follow? That is the valid questions. And we need to have a proper strategy for putting the house in the market. So that this way both way, buyers and seller both are happy. So what kind of strategy you are thinking apart from the like traditional way in this situation? Do you need to do some creative way? Do you have any idea?
Well, one thing that comes to mind right at the bat, especially from a seller's perspective, and I know a lot of the buyers, we're in a new world. Just showing your video there and showing the interior houses,
Yeah.
how things have changed so quickly in less than 3 months.
Yeah.
Virtual tours of houses, where people don't even have to go into your house to see it, to view the
That's
house.
right.
Even right now, I know exit family, and most of the industry is following the COVID requirements, where people, if they do get an opportunity to go into a house, they have to wear masks, they have to wear gloves. I know with my industry and the mortgages, most appraisers, they have, you have to sign forms for the appraiser to agree to enter your house. They are going in with gloves, masks, uh, they're wearing the booties on their feet. They, as much as they're trying to protect you, they're trying to protect themselves. So you're seeing that that's new in this world, that people are doing things virtually. I know straight through my industry, in terms of where we always used to sit down and have to meet people, doing things with
Yeah.
calls such as this, with Zoom conversations, we're doing things through our with our mortgage app. People are applying completely online,
Yeah.
straight down to the closings. They created, state mandated, that realtors can't attend. We don't have sellers and buyers in the same room. We're separating them with attorneys and notaries in separate rooms. It's a unique time. I will tell you, things are far more efficient. The industry
Yeah.
has never been so efficient. Closings are taking 45 minutes just to sign. You're seeing contracts much faster. The industry is moving very quickly. Excuse me. So that's been
Yeah.
a major change in how we're.
Yeah, exactly. So let me give an example, Marty. So last 2 weeks back, I had a closing. So everything happened virtually, and all the paperwork, everything, DocuSign, everything is happening, and this is amazing. Like everybody's adapting with the new real estate reality. So, and everybody is, and probably half of them will be continuing like that. And listen, there will be always the demand for the in-person meeting, because that will be different kind of approach. Definitely, that's not going to change. But what we are adapting right now, all the digital technology, everything happening digitally. Look at the what is happening, how showing. You saw the video, everything. You don't need to go to the house. If you like the house, if you want to make the offer, then yes, then you can go, that's fine. But at least initially you can save a lot of time this ways. And
I think it also gives the sellers peace of mind that they're not having 30 and 40 strangers
yeah,
coming into their house and not knowing who went in and who didn't. Um,
exactly.
Even with the COVID, the broker or the real estate agent's responsible for that. That if people don't have masks on, they have to supply them for them. That the broker has to wipe down the house and the handle and the door handles and make it as sterile as they can. So it shows a conscious effort that people are caring about the seller, the buyers themselves, the appraisers, all down the line. Everybody's taking the precautions that are necessary to keep everybody safe and flatten the curve.
Yes, Marty, I just want to show another property just came in the market. I'm just going to switch the screen for a minute. Okay, so this house just came in the market, and this is just a ranch. It's a Lindenhurst district, and featuring hardwood floors, high hat, and crown molding, updated windows, 18 kitchen, full bath, and more. All this in the private fence, 60 by 100 property, low taxes, and very very low taxes. And also we are having the 12 months home warranty for this program. Who wanna buy it? So this is excellent. And let's watch the video, and we can see that. So you see that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's a beautiful, and we can show. So what is happening? we can show different way the houses these days, and it could be more creative in the video. And this way, seller doesn't need to, as you said, Marty, seller doesn't need to go inside. So a lot of things can be happening, a lot of things sorted out from the beginning if the buyer is gonna like it or not, right? So, Marty, we are almost the close of the show, end of the show. Could you please say something before you go? What seller need to be thinking before putting the market right now, or if they need to hold it? What the question they have? Let's.
Well, again, if you're thinking of selling and you're wondering when's going to be the best time, I think now is the best time to sell. I think the market is as strong as it's ever been. I think a lot of people are out there buying the house, so you'll get competition, you'll get competitive bids. In most cases, you'll have multiple bids. So, as far as the seller's perspective, and even for most sellers who want to move on to take your proceeds and purchase something else, you'll never be able to buy at lower rates because
That's
suddenly
right.
you become a buyer. And again, it may be the best time for you to buy when you're because it's the best time to sell. Again, I think every market needs the first time home buyer. A lot of programs we talk about is the first time home buyer because they make you a second time home buyer. So again, there's no better time than the present. And I think the market financially is strong, rates are low, and there's a demand for housing.
So thank you, Marty, for coming to tonight's show. And if people like to connect, Marty, what is the best way to connect?
No, I appreciate inviting me, Deloar. I really had a good time. But my direct line is 516-510-6369. Again, I'm Marty Kelly from United Northern Mortgage Bankers. We're located in Levittown, New York. The number again is 516-510-6369. And thanks again for having me, Deloar.
Thank you. Thank you. Dear viewers, so today we're almost at the end of the show. So what we see after discussion today, and also the technology in this COVID situation, especially the we are adapted with the technology, especially the exit family realty, we all are adapted with the technology. It's not about the showing the video of the house these days, is beyond that. We have another strategy in this market, in this current situation. We are actually selling the house is less than a month, believe me or not. So let's discuss more. If you need more information about that, call us, and you can text Deloar, Deloar, to 85377, and you can see in the scrolling the number. You can text and you can connect with us, and we'll be more than happy to help you. And this is the best time to put the house in the market, and there is no better time than this situation. We don't know what will happen in the market. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next show. Thank you. You have a good day.